But I really want to talk about the Catholic imagination. You mentioned it briefly before. Flannery O'Connor, who's probably one of my favorite writers, talks about we talk about the Catholic imagination. So many different people have so many different takes on it. Father Andrew Greeley says Bruce Springsteen has a Catholic imagination. He wrote something about that about 20 years ago. Flannery O'Connor, in her letters, mentions that the movement of grace in her stories is the evidence of her, because she's writing about Protestants essentially for the most part in the South.
Right.
Can you talk about what Catholic imagination means for you?
Well, first of all, it means a real belief that you can make Christian art. You know, you really can. I mean,
what's that mean, Christian?
Well, you know, back when Lew Wallace wrote Ben-Hur, which was one of the greatest Christian novels ever written, there were Protestants in America who didn't believe in reading novels at all.
Okay.
One of the barriers he broke down was he wrote a novel that they were willing to read. And you know, we've always had this puritanical strain in American Protestantism that doesn't believe in Christian art. It believes the Bible is all you need. And, you know, and I've been asked on TV shows by Protestant ministers, I mean, how can you write a book about Jesus? Well, for Catholics, we have a long tradition of writing about Jesus, writing hymns. I mean, we have the whole medieval drama tradition where we have all those plays about Jesus and the devil and the role the devil plays and what the devil believes and all that type of thing. You know, it's Jeffrey Burton Russell, the Catholic historian, that pointed that out, that the most coherent study of the devil is really in medieval drama. And that's part of our tradition. Now the Protestants stopped that. They put a stop to that drama in Protestant towns. They stopped it cold. And they still, I think, Protestants of all kinds have a slight suspicion of any kind of art pertaining to God. They think of art as profane. They think of it as separate. And we Catholics believe that we can write books about Jesus and hymns about him and do stained glass windows and statues and paintings. And that's a great tradition to inherit.
Where do you find the Catholic imagination? I mean, how do you recognize it in yourself or in writers you're reading now, or people you grew up loving?
It's that inclusion of sensuality. It's that belief that the sensual world itself is good, that creation is really, really good, that it is not something that is necessarily going to be destroyed on the last day, that it's more like Teilhard Chardin believes, that it's, you know, everything we do is going to be redeemed. I think that's part of the Catholic imagination, and that's why a Caravaggio can do a beautiful painting, a sacred painting, and Veronese can do it, or Rembrandt can do it. They can believe that working on a gorgeous painting is fine and doing a Christian painting is fine too. It all comes together. We didn't, fortunately, suffer that iconoclastic crisis that Protestantism suffered.
Although we do have some strains within the Catholic Church, and we find this at Busted Halo a lot when people question why we're writing about X, Y, and Z, people that do have a more puritanical or a streak where they are very uncomfortable about writing about certain things. And you just mentioned Teilhard de Chardin. You've also mentioned Raymond Brown. You've mentioned Karl Rahner. These are people that have certainly upset some more Orthodox Catholics out there. Have you found since your conversion that you've noticed the many stripes within Catholicism?
I did find out. I had no idea. When I first spoke to you in 2005, I had no idea that I was saying things that were going to get Catholics very upset.
I warned you.
I wasn't aware, and I've since learned to just try to accept and embrace, you know, and try not to get into the politics of organized religion. Try to stay out of it. Just love everybody who is a believer, who is a brother and sister in Christ, and try very, very hard to allow them their honorable intentions. I want to stay out of the controversies. Now, if you ask me certain questions, I'll answer as a student of history as to what I think is going to happen, you know, what is likely to happen. But I try to stay out of the
women priests. I could throw one out at you. Women priests. Married priesthood or the women or women priests?
I think we'll see it. I think as a student of history, we will definitely see it. Now, I know as a Catholic, we're not supposed to talk about it. We're not supposed to lobby for it or work on it, but I definitely think it will come. Sure.
I'm not trying to, well, maybe I'm trying to create grounds for it. I'm not sure.
No, I think it will definitely come. I mean, we're in a time of incredible change, and we will, you know, Catholicism moves slowly. We all know that. To say that there will never be women priests, that's hasty. You know, Orthodoxy is going to take its time. It's going to work this out. It's going to get to women priests. It's just going to take 100 years. It's going to go very slowly. Theologians are going to work very hard on this.